I am the director of People First of Louisiana, and I will be facilitating our webinar today. This is the second webinar in the series that celebrates Developmental Disability Awareness Month. And today we're going to focus on self-determination and dignity of risk. And here to assist us in talking about these concepts and the related topics are two self-advocates, Jamie Dickerson and Nicole Jones. And at this point, I'd kind of like them to just to introduce themselves and tell us about your living situation and your employment situation, and a couple of things, one or two things that you really like. Okay.
Hey, I'm Jamie Duplichan. I am the coordinator of People First of Louisiana and the chairperson of Statewide Independent Living Council. I live independently with waiver services that cover my care. I'm very grateful for that. And two things that I really like, I like video gaming, and I enjoy everything that I do in my work. It's my passion and my purpose.
Nicole.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nicole Brown, and I'm the member at law for People First. I also work at I'm the information referral assistant for family helping families. And I also have my apartment through the waiver services.
Okay, there are a couple of things you particularly like.
Mm-hmm.
You want to share with us? Okay, I guess not. Okay. Very simply put, self-determination is having control over that part of your life that's important to you. And dignity of risk plays a large part of that. So we're going to discuss it by answering questions. And feel free at any point if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and we will certainly be glad to answer it. And if you want either Jamie or Nicole specifically, or Kevin when he joins us, to answer your question, please state that as well. Thanks. Okay, Jamie, the first question is for you. Do you feel you have the opportunity or the support? Now, when I say supports, I mean natural supports or paid supports, because we all use supports at some point. But do you feel you have the opportunity and the support to make decisions on your own?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. What kind of supports do you need to make decisions?
Well, I need access. I just need accessibility.
Okay.
To make those decisions. And sometimes support if I'm not sure about a decision. I need to know that I have the right supports to maybe ask some advice or what someone may think, but ultimately I make the decision.
So am I right in thinking that you like to have someone to kind of bounce ideas off of or talk through stuff, but you want them to listen, not do?
That's exactly right, Sharon.
Okay. are there times when a decision your supports should override your decision, not allow you to do what you want to do?
Absolutely not. I think that supports are there only in the sense to support. And that's where dignity of risk comes in. It's taking a risk and facing the consequences. It's kind of like taking a struggle away from something. I always use the story of the butterfly, that the little boy comes across who hasn't fully come out of its cocoon and takes a pair of scissors and cuts the cocoon away. Well, when he does that, he takes the struggle away from the butterfly, leaving the butterfly to never be able to fly on its own, so it never reached its full potential. And I feel like individuals with disabilities, as well as individuals without disabilities, need to make those decisions, make those risks, in order to become who we were all created to be.
Thank you, very well put. Nicole, do you feel that everyone has a right to take a risk?
I do, it makes you learn from your experience, and you grow from it.
You can learn from it. So it's really interesting when you think about sometimes people don't want to allow people with disabilities to take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what is happening is we're not allowing people with disabilities to have the same learning opportunities everybody else has.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wonder why things don't work out right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. Nicole, tell us about a time you took a risk and failed. Did you try it again?
Well, I guess I could say like when I first got my apartment, I didn't know exactly how to what I had to do and everything to like manage my apartment. And then after a while, over the years, I just learned how to do it.
That's a good example because that happens with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
People with disabilities, people without disabilities, when they move in their first apartment, they come across things that they have no idea what to do with. And you can be, it can cause you problems. So what did you learn by trying it again, by keep trying?
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn?
I learned about like different people giving me different advice on what I'm supposed to do.
You learn what you need to do to have your fun. As long as I've known you for like 13, 14 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been living in your own apartment the whole time.
Right.
So you obviously learned something, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. Um, Now let's shift gears just a little bit. Let's go to contribution. And contribution has a little bit different meaning in this and self-determination. It really means contribution as a way of volunteering is certainly one way of doing it. But it also means contributions, your skills, your time, and all, all things intangible like that, to a common mission that you might have. We all get something back from any contribution we make, whether it's a volunteering opportunity or part of our job or whatever we do. So, Jamie, what do you what have you gotten out of contributing in someone? And do you feel you actually contribute?
Well, I've contributed quite a bit, my time and efforts, especially towards advocacy to change things for us as a state, as a whole. And I've gotten a sense of belonging, and I've gained like a wonderful network of friends and people, and just, different experiences that have basically catapulted me into a place right now that where I need to be to help others.
That's it. It's really interesting that you talk about part of the benefit that you receive from contributing is that you get a sense of belonging, right? Can you
Yes.
elaborate on that just a little bit?
Well, I think that it try to explain this, Sharon. It it opens you to when it gives you a sense of belonging where you're not just there, you're not just existing, you're actually giving towards something. And when others see that, then they can see your capabilities instead of your disabilities.
Always a plus.
Huh?
I said that's always a plus.
Absolutely.
For people to really see abilities rather than disabilities. Nicole, do you agree with that?
I do.
I know that you do your people first work. You do a lot of the contributing in that you go to different rallies and so on and provide information and share information. And in your job, you help people with referrals and assistance they might need.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make you feel like you part of the community?
It does. And it makes me feel that I can have more control in my life. And it it makes me happy when I have my independence. When I'm more independent.
Very good. We also see that sense of belonging in choice because that's one of the main drivers between it, but as to the choices we definitely make.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a connection, and it all leads into, all the way to with the
Mm-hmm.
inclusion in the community and someone. Building a sense of belonging and self-determination is vital for it. Now let's talk a little bit about relationships. This is a kind of a tricky one. First of all, just a general question. Do you guys consider attempting a relationship or developing a relationship to be a risk?
I do. Because you're always risking rejection.
You are. Yes. But is it worth it?
It is, absolutely, because you never know when you're going to be placed in a situation where you need help from someone, and in turn, what help you can give back to that individual who's actually helping you.
That's true. We act as much as we give in relationships, we receive in relationships. There's a reason it is in there. There's a reason we're so connected. And it
You know,
all
I've
to do with it.
always been a firm believer that we were not created to be here for our own lives, but for everyone else's. We complement each other and help each other throughout life.
Right, right. Um, would you guys give us another example of when you took a risk and it worked out? Maybe where there were bumps along the way, but ultimately you made the decision and um, you you went through the ups and downs of it, and it came in on the other side. And do you feel it was worthwhile?
I can tell a pretty good story about that. So I met a friend who was actually from London, and he came here a couple times and said, okay, I want you to come out to London. And this was the summer of 2000, and he said he would pay for my flights and everything for me there. And for 3 months. So I was like, what? Opportunity, London, 3 months? I'm doing this. And I took the opportunity. And there were bumps along the way, including the fact that he wanted to cut the vacation short. And I said, no, you promised me 3 months. You're going to take care of me for 3 months. I'm staying. And he did it. He did do that. So I did get an opportunity of a lifetime. I got to see a weekend worth of Amsterdam. I was able to ride the London Eye. And I got a friend for life. He and I are still friends. And so while, it got a little bumpy, but it was fun, and I got to see, it was an opportunity of a lifetime, and I took it, and always believed in I walked through the door of every opportunity, and I wouldn't be where I am today had I not taken most of the opportunities that I have.
That's a good story. This is a story, and it's a good example of uh, you making a decision and going with a decision. Um, I I know the backstory here, and I know that your natural support system was not exactly enthused about you going,
Not
but
really. But they supported me.
we're being bold. They're not enthused about you going, but
They
it
did
worked
support
out.
me every step of the way.
And that's what we want to happen. Uh,
Absolutely.
support systems to be there to do support. they may not agree with it, they may not and be enthused about it, but they still provide support and they don't take away the consequences.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if there are bad consequences, no, they should not be taken away.
I tell you, my natural supports have had to support me in several bad decisions I've made.
Well, okay.
It
Because,
happens. It's life.
well, that's true. That's true. Um, and people that with or without disabilities do that too. Um, you know, my daughter does not have a disability, but her when she was young, her father died and left her a bunch of money. And so when she turned 18, she wanted to go buy a car. So I went with her and helped her pick out a car, a nice, sensible car with got good gas mileage and all that. Well, it was there one day, and the next day I came home from work, and sitting in my driveway was a black Camaro. And I was not real happy about it. But we dealt with it anyway. And on top of that, she says, tells me very proudly, it has a racing package. And I'm thinking, okay, what's a racing package? Well, they took out the air conditioner. And I'm thinking, well, we lived in New Orleans at the time. And I'm thinking, July, no air conditioner, and you paid extra for that. But anyway, she did. And I told her, I said, the day it doesn't have insurance or gas is the day it's just in the driveway. Because I will not pay for either one of them. And when I tell you, she spent the next 3 years working like crazy to pay for the gas and the insurance for that car. You know, but so I mean, she learned consequences and she learned from it. Well, we don't have the right to deny people with disabilities the same opportunities. Anyway, I'll get on my soapbox. Nicole, do you have an example for us?
For we're talking about for our taking a risk.
I'm sorry.
Are you talking about how to contribute?
How about when, do you have a story you would like to share about
Oh,
how you took a risk and it didn't work out quite like you thought it would? I know you told us about your apartment already, but is there something else that's kind of
no, not that I can think of.
not that you can think of?
No.
You know, I think whenever we fail and we learn lessons from it, we grow from it. And it just basically lets us know that we're actually living. If we're not living, we're not taking risks, because everything we do every day is a risk. We just never know. Sometimes walking out our front door is a risk these days.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Let me see if there's another thing I want to ask you here. Okay, let me ask you guys the overall question. The one, tell me how you think self-determination and dignity of risk plays into inclusion. How do you think that the concept and if self-determination is done correctly with allowing dignity of risk, how that helps us build outside of inclusion? Come on, Jen.
So I mean,
Well,
self-determination. Go ahead.
all the components of self-determination, choice, contribution, and relationships. All three of them, the benefit of them or the chief driver of it, the common part of it is self-determined, a sense of belonging. And what is inclusion? Tell me what you think inclusion means, Nicole.
Okay. Inclusion means like you're involved in different activities and like a conversation with somebody. And the way to sometimes not everybody wants to include people with disabilities, but like sometimes it's good to just step up and just include yourself in the conversation.
So inclusion to me is being included in a sense of belonging, and not just existing. When I'm in the community, I'm contributing something. I used to volunteer at what we have here, Bridge Ministries of Acadiana, and help children after school with their homework and different activities. And now, whenever I go into, I hadn't done that in years, but when those children still see me years later, they're like, hey, that's Miss Jamie. She used to help me with my homework. And so that, that's inclusion to
And
me.
do you feel, both of y'all, do you feel that self-determination and the dignity of risk, being able to learn from what you do and the decisions you make, do you feel that is necessary for inclusion?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nicole?
I agree.
Do you think it's important that you experience the good stuff and the bad stuff from your decisions, and you should be allowed to make your decisions?
Yeah.
Does that get,
Because
okay,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because a lot of times, like when you're not included, then you kind of feel like you're isolating yourself, and that's not really not really a good thing. And you like a lot of times people with disabilities can feel kind of like overwhelmed, like when they're not able to do the things that they normally want to do.
I think it's important to know that individuals with disabilities have the same desires and needs that individuals without disabilities do. We have the same desires to live a fulfilled daily life. We want to belong in the community just like everyone else. And when we don't, I mean, there's been times where I didn't feel included and felt less of a human, and I shouldn't have.
That's true. When you don't get to choose stuff, you know, even simple choices, and they're not really honored. They don't see you as an individual and stuff. Does it make you feel like you're on the outside looking in?
I'm sorry, Sharon, can you repeat that?
When your choices are not honored, and people don't allow you to make choices, do you feel like you're on the outside looking in?
I do, and I feel like I've lost control. Like I feel like I have no control. If someone is to take my choices away, then I have no control over my life. And it's almost like it's not my life then, because if what I want is not being honored, then what's the purpose?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. Yeah, does anybody in the audience have any questions they would like to ask? Oh, wait, I see one here from Ronald. Okay, guys, here's a question. Both of you answered this one. Do you ever find that friends are more supportive than family when it comes to your disability and things you want in life?
I can say that it's kind of equal for me. I know after my injury in the beginning, I lost a lot of friends, but I have a few that stay there and have been more so like family. And I've had caregivers who no longer work with me who have become really good friends and are very supportive. But mostly everyone in my life is equally supportive until I want to make the decision to go skydiving, and then it's just my friends who are supportive for that, not my parents.
Well, that may be a little true. You didn't have a disability, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Nicole, how about you? Do you find your friends to be more supportive of your family? Nicole,
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
do you find your friends to be more supportive than your family when it comes to your disability and the things you want to do? Or do you find your family to be more supportive?
I would have to say my friends are more supportive because in the beginning, when I first got my apartment, when I first got my apartment, it was like my family didn't want to. They kept telling me I wasn't able to get my apartment and all kind of other things. But I've always been a self-determined person. I've always wanted to be able to experience different things in life. And but now I have more support from equal.
That's interesting. That's good. Okay, here's another one. How did you handle a person new to you as a support coordinator or a DSW and new to this line of work that doesn't understand your choices and that you make your own decisions? How do you handle that? How do you let them know you need to make your own decisions? Both of you.
Very, very carefully. because you just never know how an individual may react. It's I've had individuals walk away because they felt like I was telling them what they needed to do, and I was just simply explaining how things needed to be done in a correct way. And I guess sometimes I do come off sounding a little rough, and I don't mean to. It's not intentionally. But I feel like I need to get the point across because things need to be done a certain way sometimes. Whether it's medically or, you know, in order to not hurt myself or them, I look out for them as well. So it's something that you have to kind of, you just never know how an individual is going to react. Some of them take it very well, but some of them don't.
Yeah. Nicole, do you experience that?
I have.
What did you do?
I'll kind of like talk it out with them and explain to them how better to be able to assist me on the things that I need help with.
Okay, another question. Okay, Cheryl Knight asked this question. She wants to know, what is something that people that don't have disabilities or people or able as people need to improve so that we can get to a more inclusive society?
I think that a lot of individuals with disabilities feel like they're not going to be included by able-bodied individuals and fear what the societal views or what society is going to, how they're going to react. So they don't give it a try and they don't push forward. So as far as individuals with disabilities, I wish that they would get out more and contribute more and be more open to giving their part. And as for individuals without disabilities, I just wish they would be more open to seeing our capabilities and not our disabilities. Quit recognizing an individual with disabilities as having something wrong, because nothing's wrong with us. We're just unique, we're different, and we live life differently and need additional supports.
It's a good answer.
Thank you.
Very good answer. Yeah. Nicole, how about you?
I agree with Jamie said, and I want to do the same thing as well.
Okay. Okay, Jamie, you have a note here from Ronald that he went bungee jumping a few years ago, and that it was amazing, and that your skydiving is going to be a blast.
I believe it will too. And the only reason I won't bungee jump because I see the jerking and I'm like, if I do that, I'm possibly going to break my back again. So let's go skydiving instead.
Well, Ronald, you will do it.
And thanks for that.
Jamie and I are planning to go zip lining. And Bernard said, how would I respond to that? It's really hard to give a simple answer. we do need to work to help people understand that we have needs and we have wants. We're actually the same as they are. Only we have a unique difference. As far as other people are concerned, people that don't have disabilities and stuff, uh, I would like for people to be more accepting, more open to uh, have a more open mind about things. They might be really surprised. I know that when people that are around, uh, say that I associate with, that I have been around, have problems usually initially thinking I can do the things that I can do. And it's hard to say what you can do, what you can't do. Sometimes you don't know yourself what you can do, what you can't do, but you're willing to try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, okay, we'll move on. Um, but that's not quite so easy for other people to understand. But somehow I wish that it would be. And I wish we would have come up with a way to help people understand that and to be more accepting, more willing to do what needs to be done to allow the learning to take place, to allow the adjustments to take place. Okay, let's see. This is a question. Wait, okay. Wait, okay. Ronald, I see your question, and I don't know the answer to it. The question is, is anyone challenging the government to get Braille on money? Sure that there are people that have a problem with that, that have trouble telling that. I do not know the answer to that. Did anybody, either one of you guys?
I've never heard. I have no clue.
Neither do I.
I would think the National Federation for the Blind probably has a policy division that could answer that question. Uh, I'm sorry, Ron, we don't know that one. Oh, Bambi said that a lot of assistive technology and devices and mobile apps help people that are blind or visually impaired identify currency, money. Okay. Okay, any other questions? Okay, here's another one. What other challenges do you continue to face in the workplace? Jamie?
Well, I don't have any challenges in my workplace, but I know that individuals with disabilities within the workforce have a lot of problems getting jobs. I'm very blessed to be where I am and a job next to Sharon and so many wonderful people, but many of individuals with disabilities are not blessed with that opportunity. And it's really hard for people with disabilities to find a job due to societal views and how people have seen us as having things wrong with us and not accepting our capabilities and only looking at our disabilities. So that, you know, I just wish that more business owners would be open to giving individuals with disabilities the opportunity to come in and show their stuff, because we're very dedicated, committed individuals who are willing to work and give it our all.
That is true. You know, when you think about it, there are really the biggest stumbling block that really comes up with the workplace or any place, it really is accessibility, whether it be physical accessibility, which is the easiest accessibility to address, or programmatic, like can you use the services and programs and so on. But the one that's the hardest one to address is attitudinal accessibility. That causes more problems than anything.
And that's one that's not easily changed.
No, it isn't, because you can't legislate it. You can't legislate it, you can't force it, you can't do anything. It's very hard to deal with. Jamie and Nicole, do you all feel as though, wait, stop moving, your paid support through the waiver are sufficient to meet your needs and supplement what may not be available through natural supports?
Well, I don't have natural supports anymore because my parents are too old to take care of me. And I have a team of women here who are absolutely amazing. And I wish every individual with disabilities had what I have here at home. We all work together as a team here, and that's how I think it should be. I hope that answered the question.
Yes. Yes. Nicole?
I guess I would have to say, I have some natural support, but I mainly have like the regular with my workers, and like a lot of times it'd be easier if I wish I can't really answer that question.
It would be easier to, if what?
But I can't really answer. I mean, I don't really know the answer to that question.
Well, basically, is the service, the assistance you get from your worker, is that enough? Does that fill in
It
the,
is.
okay. Okay. And Rhonda, I'm sorry, we skipped you a question. What advice do you have for individuals with disability looking for work and facing the challenges that we see in the workplace?
Persistence is key. Do not give up.
That's true.
You can do it. You got this. And you know, their peers are here to back them up. That's what we're all here for. But don't give up.
Right. Nicole, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, you want to stay positive and believe in yourself, and that have a good outlook that
Good.
you're able to have some support.
Okay, so stay positive, have a good outlook.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, let's see. I hope I didn't skip anybody else. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks everybody.
We
Okay,
thank you all for being here for sure.
yes. Is there anything else we can talk about? Are there any other questions?
I do have a comment. You know, dignity of risk brings about individuals finding different things out about themselves, and also another way of growing. As I said before, whenever you take a risk, you never know what'll come out of it. You'll find a talent. When I when I was introduced to Miss Wheelchair Louisiana back in 2015, I was like, sure, I'll go with it. And then I found out I had to do a 2-minute speech. And I was like, what? I don't want to speak in front of people, but I had already committed to it. And so I did. And then after I did that, I joined Toastmasters. And then I was presented with the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and advocate with United Spinal Association. So, and then I found the talent for, you know, my speaking and just my overall communication skills and the networking. And it's just, it's an amazing experience being able to get out there and show who I am and be who I am. So, you know, thanks to the state for the many programs that they have that allow us to live independently, which adds to the quality of life. And it also is a tool to educate others. I'm just me, Andrea. I'm just me.
Okay. So we'll kind of wrap this up here, and we all, well, if there's one thing we can say about self-determination and dignity of risk, it's that it's an essential component of what is necessary for true inclusion. Do you agree or not?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, so it's important that we recognize that, and it's important for people around us to recognize that by not allowing that, they're taking away opportunities for us to learn, to grow, to be included in things. So
It's taking our opportunity away to live.
yes, yeah. Well, is anybody else have anything else they would like to talk about? No. How about you, Bernard and Bambi? Do y'all have anything? And Alicia, y'all have anything?
Well, y'all did a great job. Thank you, Sharon and Jamie and Nicole.
Very welcome.
Thank
Yeah, great job. And to the rest of the people, the attendees, just let everybody know that these recordings will be posted on the various different websites. Go to OCDD site, DD Council, Lacan, ARC, everywhere else we can put it. So just let everybody know and get the word out. Thank y'all.
And I'll send a follow-up email to everyone who registered with the links to all of the, we'll post it, I'm sorry. We'll post it on YouTube, so you'll have it there.
Well, I want to say thank you for you guys for participating, and thank you for our audience that asked such great questions and helped us kind of get our points that we wanted to make and things we feel that are important. And we really appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.